Hello, and for my methods of devising performance portfolio, I decided to do a vlog, a video blog. It's not going to be particularly good, I do warn you. It is me holding a shaky flip camera in my hand because all other forms of technology in my house have failed supremely. So throughout this video, I'll be talking about comfort zones and where I've stretched mine throughout the term and a bit. We've had methods of devising performance. So I figured it would be best to start at session 1, goals and leadership. Now, when talking about each session, I'll also ask if it stretched or brought me out of my comfort zone. So, has this session challenged my comfort zone? The answer? No. It didn't at all. But luckily, that answer is a pretty simple one. It's because this is the first day. It's not meant to be challenging. It's meant to be comforting. We're like, look, we're all friends here. Let's all do this together, so to speak. You see, I've been playing Java games for years now, both in my FE college and also with the London Bubble Theatre Company. And although I've never played the Magic Carpet, as brilliant as it is, it's still a theatre game. It's going to be doing more or less the same things. Have to admit though, you did throw us a curveball with the disability penalties. That did get me out of the comfort zone because it's incredibly hard to navigate tiny bits of white paper with a blindfold, without one arm and hopping on a leg. So, yeah, although the game might have brought me out of my comfort zone, the session didn't. Oh, and another quick thing. The SMART goals. Mine was through movement class, regular walking to and from the station, and supplemented with a healthy diet, I aim to lose at least 1 inch off of my waist by December 2011. And yep, that was a pretty smart goal, I'll have to admit. Didn't achieve it though. I mean, no fault but mine. But I think I've gained an extra inch, to be honest, so smart goal, fail. Oh, session 2, audience and community. So once again, is my comfort zone challenge? It's a no. To me, it seemed like a fun but average sort of class. There wasn't anything too challenging happening. However, I do feel it actually increased my comfort zone slightly through the finding differences and between me and my classmates. That just increases the bond and the comfort I share with them, so that was good. And you did also do the same trick you did last session with the enacting Shakespeare plays. It's hard enough trying to get a whole group working together with the Tempest speaking. But when we get added the disability of not being able to speak at all, that seemed to complicate things just a little bit. So yeah, again, it's a case of session, still in my comfort zone, but the task was out of it a little slightly. Session 3, fear and risk. Now, this one did challenge my comfort zone slightly, but you'd expect it to. The session's called Fear and Risk, and there's nothing scarier than being shouted and sworn at by a pregnant MA student facilitator. I mean, I kid you not. But however scary dancing 3 inches, maintaining eye contact with somebody else is, touching your classmates all over, and being forced to tell a story right in front of them, however scary that is, in essence, it just helps build up your comfort zone even more, expand it slightly, changing things, which I suppose was the whole point of the task, actually. Session 4, Boal and Forum Theatre. Now, like the last session, this definitely challenged my comfort zone. Why, you ask? Because I wasn't there. I'm not proud of this fact. I hate not turning up to it, but well, it's nobody's fault but my own. So yeah, my comfort zone was challenged by that. But since I wasn't there, I can't talk about the session. So I'll talk about the question. You see, we got the question, who is Augusto Boal and why is he part of this unit? Now, my understanding is Augusto Boal is the godfather of applied theatre. Brazilian born, he worked a lot in South America, where he wrote his Bible, Theatre of the Oppressed. In the preface to the original book in 1974, he stated, "All theatre is political, because all the activities of man is political, and theatre is one of them." He then went on to describe theatre as a weapon, and that it is primarily in the hands of the upper classes. So the oppressed need to take back theatre and fight for and with it. He proposes this as the barrier between actors and spectators is destroyed. All must act. All must be protagonists in the necessary transformations of society. And how does this tie in with applied theatre? Well, quite often, as practitioners, we'll be interacting with the minority or the oppressed. Children, the elderly, those in prisons, those with disabilities, both physical and mental. What Borel's philosophies do is give these people a voice that is used to enact change, overthrow a government, gain equality, or just simply be heard. Section 5. Disability and interculturalism. Well, I was there for that one, yes, and it still did stretch my comfort zone, though not as much as I would have first thought. We spent a while in this session handicapped, where we would physically disable ourselves, so wearing a blindfold or hopping on one leg. And although it was well out of my comfort zone to be gagged, not able to speak, all the little twists you gave us in the past few weeks made it less abrupt. Oh, and another thing. For this week, we're given 2 pieces of reading. One on the social model of a disability, and another on theatre and interculturalism. And if there's one thing that breaches my comfort zone, it's academic reading. Now, give me a good novel. Give me a strong piece of fiction, and I'll be as happy as no time. But give me a bit of non-fiction, and for some reason it just doesn't soak in. I can't get my head round it, and I know in a university setting this might be a failing, but this is just one of my greatest breaches of comfort zone. Session 6. Improvisation and affect. This one is also yes. Comfort zone challenge. Huzzah! Kaloo! This was mainly in our exploration of post-dramatic theatre. I've never touched it in my life. I mean, my old tutor at FE College was more into the Stanislavski styles of teaching, the realism, getting it to mirror real life. So it was out of the ordinary, new, and rather a crazy experience. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. So in that sense, yes, my comfort zone was challenged and then expanded. My knowledge grew of a theatre practice which I had no idea about. But that isn't all. Joe Scott also introduced me to different concepts of warm-ups and devising techniques, different styles, different types, such as spontaneous and durational exercises. And when in groups, and your imagination runs dry with the latter, it becomes a great tool for, you guessed it, breaking your comfort zone. Session 7, Research and Adaptation. Did this session challenge my comfort zone? Again, it's a yes, but not for the right reasons. I wasn't there. Like session 4, I did not make it in. And didn't make me feel good. So yes, comfort zone challenged, not for all the right reasons. Session 8, Ethics and Verbatim. And again, it's a yes to my comfort zone challenged. One of the main reasons for this, however, was the verbatim monologue we had to write. Unfortunately, I chose to talk about a theatre trip we had only been to the day before, so I had less than 24 hours to interview and write a monologue. Easy peasy. So, I decided to introduce a bit of post-dramatic theatre, make everything absurdly broken up and put it in the setting of, well, let's put it in the setting of an interview. I mean, I was interviewing my subjects anyway. So, yeah, although my comfort zone was challenged, it was more because of the situation I put myself in, rather than the actual task of writing the monologue. Session 9, Ridiculous and Queer. Did this challenge my comfort zone? Yes it did. But not because of the content of the actual lesson, mainly because of the social interaction with other students. Pretending to be someone's husband got me giggling like a schoolchild. And audience participation with other groups, well, that just got me feeling uncomfortable. If a performer asks you a question, what do you do? If they offer you something, do you take it? And if you say no and they keep on offering, are you actually breaking their performance or not? I mean, I know I sound like an old fogey, the type who thinks theatre should just be a stage with an audience watching the professional actors clapping and laughing at certain times and going out for ice creams in the interval. That's not me. I fully endorse audience participation, but saying it and thinking it in theory is a lot different to be putting in practice. It just made me feel slightly awkward. Session 10 in the spring term, intermediality and documentation. Just like sessions 4 and 7, I wasn't there. And like those sessions, my comfort zone was challenged simply because I hate missing things. Guilt-ridden and jealous of the fun everybody had, I didn't feel comfortable, and I really wanted a chance to play with my flip camera. But no, I wasn't there, so nobody's fault but my own, silly old Nathan. Conclusion. Yeah. Well, writing this script and performing this to the camera has actually been a real education of a sort. Over the last term and a bit, my comfort zone has been stretched to near breaking point, whether through the class, my social interactions, or me simply not being there. I have played and toyed with it, but nothing more than the facilitation assessment we were tasked with. As I mentioned earlier, theory and practice are two totally different things, and learning how to facilitate is a whole different kettle of fish than having to facilitate a group of your peers in front of a rather scary American typing in notes in his laptop. Just putting it out there, I was terrified. But if Burrell is right, and theatre truly is a weapon, I think it is best used against comfort zones, to mix things up and to shake them about. In preparation for the fear and risk session, we were asked, what is a comfort zone? And what is the value of challenging it? And to answer the latter half of the question, when we get comfortable, we get complacent and content with the way things are. Unless we challenge our comfort zones, we have no way of initiating change. To apply Burrell's theory to a little bit of Shakespeare, to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. Hi, and thank you for watching. This is just a disclaimer really. I know that the video quality was terrible, but I am using a handheld camera at arm's length away. I don't have any tripod, so the picture will be very, very shaky, and as you could see, my face was moving all about the screen, and for that I am sorry. I'm new to this, and I want to try things out. Unfortunately, I've chosen this as a time to try, so I understand that it isn't of the quality you probably like, but I've explained it all up there, and down there is a script of what I've written. So if you can't understand a word I'm saying, at least you can read it. Again, apologies for this, but thank you for watching, and good night.